Well, maybe if it's just the menial sins you can take care of.
Is the other one for me?
Welcome to the April 16th, 2025 School Committee meeting, 6:30 p.m. in the City Council Chamber. Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Delay.
Here.
Ms. Martin.
Here.
Mayor Rourke.
Here.
Mr. Bahu. Mr. Conway.
Yeah.
Mr. Del Rossi. Ms. Doherty.
Here.
5 present, 2 absent.
Ms. Pratt, good to see you this evening. Welcome.
Oh, I thought I gave it to you. Yep.
I'll start off with a special order of business. 3.1, a spotlight on Excellence Knowledge Bowl Champion 2025, the Daley Middle School.
Hi, thank you. My name is Rebecca Duda. I'm the coordinator of special programs, and I just want to thank the committee for having us tonight to celebrate the Daley Middle School for being the 2025 Knowledge Bowl champions, but for also recognizing all of our middle schools that participate in the Knowledge Bowl. For those who are watching at home who may not know, the Knowledge Bowl is an annual event, a 7-night event in March. All 9 middle schools compete. They start practicing in the fall, in October, on a wide range of questions: math, science, current events, runs the whole gamut. So it's a lot of hard work that the coaches and the students put in to make the event in March such a success. So I just want to recognize a few people that make it successful, though, behind the scenes. We have longtime timekeeper Chris Chopshin, who was not able to join us tonight, but she's invaluable. We have tonight also moderator Patty Adams, longtime moderator. And behind the scenes, we also have 2 administrative assistants, Jean McGuire and Lynn Moran, who help facilitate, and the night of the event did help me with scorekeeping. So it's a true team effort, and the kids, though, are the real stars. So I'd like to invite the coach of the middle school, Karen Miranda, and Alejandro Bonilla, as well as the principal of the Daley is with us tonight, too, Mr. Asquith. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Coach Miranda.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Skinner, Mayor Rourke, and the rest of the school committee. And thank you for providing us with the opportunity to highlight the good work that our Daley Middle School Knowledge Bowl team has done. I think it's also a testament to the competitiveness that exists within this city. So I think we wouldn't be in the place we are without the rest of the good work that the other coaches do. I want to highlight Coach Bonilla here and also Coach Miranda. This, I believe, is the 4th consecutive city win for Coach Miranda, which is worthy of a round of applause. I don't think any other coach has done that. And I have to point out, Mr. Alejandro Bonilla has also been present for that. So I'll turn it over to the coaches, and I'm looking forward to hearing from the kids tonight as well. So thank you so much.
Good evening, and thank you to the committee for having us here tonight. My name is Alejandro Bonilla. I'm a college intern for Lowell Public Schools District as I continue my studies in music education at UMass Lowell. I'm an alum of the Daley. I was a player of the Knowledge Bowl, and I'm not affiliated with the giant black bags sitting here next to me, unless they do really well, in which case I am. You think after 4 years you would run out of incredible things to say about this team, but you really don't, because every year they continuously push the bar higher and higher. There's never a moment during the season where I felt that these children were not up to the task. And we threw a lot at them. The gamut of work that they do in preparation for this competition involves a lot of math drilling, memorizing a humongous packet of every news headline under the sun, and lots of buzzer work. We have them competing against each other, and in doing so, they build each other up and get stronger. I think, especially this season, one of the greatest pleasures that we get to have as coaches and as educators was to see how self-driven they are, which you'll see more when they delve into their speeches when they come up. They let us play the role of coach. We guide them, but after that, they took off on their own, and they wanted to seek out the excellence of being the first school to reach 4 consecutive wins of the Knowledge Bowl. With that said, I'd like to pass it over to Ms. Karen Miranda, my lovely co-coach. She'll introduce the team, and then you'll hear from our students.
Thank you, Alejandro. Good evening, Mayor, Superintendent Skinner, school committee members. As Alejandro and Mr. Asquith said, we are so proud of these Daley School students. Going for 4 in a row next year. Our hashtag is we're going to strive for 5, and we're going to do our best to bring it on home. Alejandro is our luckiest charm. He is the only person who's been here for 4 years as a coach, straight, never lost. So we hope that he'll be back with us next year, and soon that he'll be a teacher in Lowell Public Schools. But I'm just incredibly proud. However, I really want the focus to be on the students tonight. So I'm going to introduce you to our team members. When I call your name, if you could please stand and wave, and then I'll introduce you to our speakers. From our 5th grade, we have Elliot Kolakowski. We have our alternates, Jackson Durkin. Unable to be here tonight, but we want to acknowledge him, is Owen Brown. We also have our alternate and team scorekeeper, Ijena Ifezwe. Unable to be here tonight from our 6th grade, we have Kwasi Apoko. Also representing the 6th grade, we have Munadar Koi. From our 7th grade, we have Owen White. Andrew Protopopescu. And 10 Koi. And our 8th graders, the following students were not able to be here tonight, but we do want to recognize Annabelle Brown, Vsauth Hoare, and Logan Boy. In the room tonight, we also have with us Amaya Handi. And our captain, and I'm going to give him a special shout out. He is the first person, I believe, to ever, as a student, win 3 Knowledge Bowl championships. He is also, I believe, the first student to ever go to 3 regionals representing Lowell. He is our captain, Nathan Ong. And we have 4 students who would like to share some remarks about their season with you tonight. I will first call up Elliot Kolakowski.
Hello? Oh, hello. My name is Elliot Kolakowski, as you heard. I didn't know what to expect when I was asked to take a test for the Knowledge Bowl team, but once I made the practice team, I was so impressed with how talented everyone was and how much work goes into preparing for competition against the other schools. Even though I wasn't on stage, I was fortunate enough to attend every practice, and on competition days, I was our biggest cheerleader. I was so proud of all my teammates after they won the championship for the 4th time in a year, and I can't wait to see if we can do it again next year. Strive for 5. One of my favorite memories was when Alejandro drank cereal out of the trophy, and I drank milk out of it, but we don't talk about that. And now I'm here giving a speech in front of more people that I could count. I'm so happy that everyone made me feel included. Thank you so much to everyone that has helped me become the best version of me that I could wish for. Thank you all so much for helping me along this journey. I would like to thank Miss Miranda and Coach Alejandro and the whole Knowledge Bowl team for supporting me. I would also like to thank the Daley Middle School, but I would like to highlight 2 classes in particular, Homeroom 103 and 105, specifically for helping me practice and being very supportive when I was going through hard times with Knowledge Bowl. Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Representing the 6th grade, we have Munidar Koi. Come on down, Munidar.
Good evening to all. Thank you all for being here tonight. The mayor, the school committee members, the audience, and the Knowledge Bowl team. It has been an honor to represent the Daley Middle School and the Knowledge Bowl tournament. This amazing season was filled with excitement, pressure, and fright. But in the end, we were able to take home the first place trophy and complete the 4-peat record. I would like to recognize the 9 middle schools in the city of Lowell that competed as well. They were friendly, hardworking, and had great sportsmanship. I would also like to thank the teachers and family who showed up for every game this year. Every time we walked up on stage and looked into the big crowd of people who came to support us, the realization that they came to be here just for us was amazing. Some of them are even here tonight. I would like to acknowledge my coaches, Coach Miranda, Coach Alejandro. They were here with us to guide us through the entire process, sharing tips and ideas, supporting us through every single one of our competitions. They have been there for us since the start of our very first practice. They were there every step of the way to victory. Making this team has completed a goal. I remember when I was in 5th grade and I came to all the games. I watched the celebrations. Since then, I knew the Knowledge Bowl was what I wanted to do. My teachers have told me how good I was in class. They were also another step of the way to making this team. They were the people who recommended me for this team. When I got the opportunity to try out for the team, I knew I had to, and that's what I did. It took just a bit of courage to try out for the team. About a month later, I found myself looking at the final roster with my name on it. Now I am part of this amazing group of people who have won the tournaments for 4 whole years. I am those people I saw in the parades. If I could time travel, and tell my 10-year-old self that I made the Knowledge Bowl team and won it, my past self would probably scream. The same people that I used to look up to, the same people who inspired me, are the same people who I work with, who I now call my teammates. This was the greatest thing that I've been a part of this year. There were things in these last 4 months that were memorables. I remember the practices and homework we would get. My bedtime story for 4 months was practice packets. Sometimes I didn't feel like reading those 30-page packets or solving those sets of math problems. Then came the last few practices that were all about fitting as much information into our brains as possible. I remembered the night before the big game when my brother and I were in full study mode, quizzing each other page after page until 3 study packets of different subjects were complete. It wasn't the most enjoyable thing to do, but it's all worth it in the end. You should always be prepared for an intense night or sometimes a not so intense night. I remember coming to school the day after the night we won. Teachers congratulated me. Everyone clapped as I walked into the class. It felt great. During our celebrations, I remembered this question that stood out. So what's the secret? Well, there isn't really a secret. It just takes hard work, dedication, determination, strategies. Remember when I said there isn't really a secret? Well, strategies are top secret. Then a few study packets and Quizlets. In the end, all I can say is that hard work pays off. Our combined efforts contributed to a successful season. Thank you for all that made those nights happen. Thank you, my teammates and coaches, for a great season.
Thank you, Munidar. And now we have her brother, Tenkoi, from our 7th grade.
Good evening, Mayor Rourke, Superintendent Skinner, our school committee, the audience, friends and family, and our knowledgeable coaches, Miss Miranda and Alejandro. I am excited and grateful for this knowledgeable season. I really want to acknowledge all teams and their coaches during the tournament for their great friendliness and effort into the season. For the teams which we did not play against, I can only confidently guess that everyone was friendly, hardworking, and smart. This was the most rewarding thing that I have ever experienced, and I'm not trying to be corny, but also the process. All of the work and practices, the guidance of Coach Miranda and Alejandro, without them, we would have never made it. I remember clearly, partially because it was a few weeks ago, we were asked, what's the secret? But first, let me tell you a story. Have you ever noticed that your t-shirt shrank from the year before and it became small? Now, did the clothes shrink or did you grow? It has fitted you well the year before, so why not now? I can remember the time when I used to panic due to the pressure of the finals. The fear of mistakes stopped me. Everything I knew, all the questions I missed, took me down for my confident self. But as the new season started, I felt as if there was no reason to be afraid. It felt as if the pressure had grown smaller and fitted smaller and smaller. Had it shrunk? I knew that I knew the answers and our coaches had trained us well, yet you simply learn based on your past experiences to not be afraid of simply answering questions. When I was a 5th grader, I had dreams of the World Cup, lunchtime, and being in the Knowledge Bowl. Back then, I didn't really know what it was. I just thought they were the cool kids. When I asked one of my teachers to nominate me, I realized that it was already too late. I guess I really grew from that moment. I've learned more than ever in this period of time since. I can imagine everyone on the team trying their hardest to read study packets. Everyone, the captain, the current event, and the buzzing specialist, they all tried to find a way. I sure can say that I had a packet everywhere I went just in case. You would get distracted for hours just switching tabs from homework to current events and back. But in the end, hard work pays off. Everyone's hard work combines together as a team. I just want to say thank you to everyone on the team, our coaches, and everyone working to make this tournament possible.
Thank you, Tin. And our final speaker is our captain, Nathan Ong.
Four straight wins, 3 schools trying to win it all, 2 coaches who believed in us, 1 team that made history, and here we are now. Hello everyone. As I finished middle school, I'm proud to announce that the Daley Lions knowledgeable team made history, becoming the first team in Lowell to win 4 years in a row. My journey began in 6th grade when I didn't think I'd ever have a chance to join the team until 8th grade. Early on, I wasn't sure I could answer questions right, let alone help my team win. But as time passed, I gained confidence, not just at answering questions, but at believing I could make a difference. With guidance from my coaches, Ms. Miranda and Alejandro, I was able to help lead us to success, so I want to thank them both. Ms. Miranda has dedicated countless hours, maybe even becoming a more passionate version of Bill Belichick. Alejandro, though newer, has been massive in guiding us to 4 straight finals wins. Special shout out to him, because as long as he hasn't cut his absolutely stunning hair, we've never lost. So let's hope it stays that way. And of course, this victory wouldn't have been possible without my teammates. Knowledgeable isn't an individual effort, it's a team effort. Whether you were up on stage answering questions or supporting us behind the scenes, we wouldn't have made it without all of you. Thanks as well to the audience for your support, especially during the finals. Your energy truly lifted us when we were low. It tapered our stress to fade away. And a special thanks to our school leaders, Mr. Ascliffe, Mr. Alves, and Ms. Sullivan for being there. Every match pushed us to work harder, and it all led to the finals. Our chance to prove the effort paid off. It started slow, with all teams tied at 0. At first, I was a little stressed. I wasn't sure how things were going to play out, but as the rounds went on, I started to get into a rhythm. We began pulling ahead, but Pine Knots, the runner-up, kept it close. The weighing also stayed competitive, never giving up. In the final round, 10 Coy scored most of our points, helping us extend our lead. By the time the final buzzer went off, we had secured a clear victory. Both teams made us earn this win, so I'm excited to see what Lowell brings to the upcoming regionals. Looking back, I'm proud of how far we've come. 4 straight finals wins and countless hours of hard work. That's what success looks like. At the end of the day, it's not just about the win or the historic achievement. It's about effort, teamwork, and giving it our all. I hope this win's legacy inspires future teams to keep going, to possibly even 5-6 straight wins. Thank you all for being here to recognize what we've accomplished. As I wrap up, I want to address one last question. Everybody's always asking me, what would I do if we didn't win? But the better question is, how far would we have gone if we hadn't given it our all? And as for what I would have done if we didn't win, I guess we never know.
Coaches, want to bring the kids up for a picture? Yeah, yeah. Do you want to grab that?
Stay behind the desk.
Go up.
What about the superintendent? He's not. We're at the Academy Awards.
I know.
Ms. Doherty?
Thank you. I just want to say I love the Knowledge Bowl. I love that we are celebrating academic success and knowledge. And I look at the students out here, and it reminds me of why I do this work. It's so important because you all are our future leaders. You're going to be running the city someday. And it's really heartwarming to know it's going to be in such good hands. And I'd also like to just end with one thing. Any student who's in the Knowledge Bowl is a winner. You're all student leaders. You're leaders at your schools. It takes hard work, it takes courage and perseverance. And I wanted to just say I really am proud of all of you. Thank you so much for telling your stories tonight.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Very well done. Yes, Mr. Lay, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Like Ms. Dorothy, I'm also a Knowledge Bowl fan. I've been watching Knowledge Bowl. Mr. Bonilla, I think you were a superstar yourself back for the Daley School. I don't know if Ms. Miranda and Mr. Skinner can correct me if I'm wrong, but you were a pretty good competitor yourself and also became a scholar out of Lowell High School. So I'm glad to see you come back and help everybody, and everybody here is doing really well. And I really want to appreciate the parents supporting these kids, and also all other 7, 8, I don't know how many, the Sullivan, Pine Arts, Butler, Stockloser, Stem, Wang, Robinson, for all competing, for participating in the competition. So, congratulations.
All right. Awesome. Great. Moving on, section 4 minutes. 4.1, the approval of the minutes of the regularly scheduled Lowell School Committee meeting on April 2nd, 2025. A motion by Mr. Conway, second by Ms. Doherty. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Section 5, permission to enter April 16th, 2025. Motion to approve by Ms. Doherty, second by Mr. Lay. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
6, memorial, 6.1, Gerald Goyette Sr., the father of Gerald Goyette, computer repair technician at Lowell High School. Madam Clerk, please dim the lights. May you rest in peace. Motion 7.1 by Ms. Martin. Request the Lowell School Committee approve $3,000 donation to match a gift from the Greater Lowell Community Foundation to support 8th grade graduation activities for McKinley-Vento students across the district. Second by Ms. Doherty. Ms. Martin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'm really very, very pleased to be able to bring this forward this evening. And I'm going to say right out of the gate that this is really a direct result of 2 longtime staff members here in the Lowell Public Schools, Nancy Humphreys and Bopa Boutselis, both of whom have been working with our McKinney-Vento homeless students across the district for many, many years. This is the kind of motion I think that comes from kind of the front line, and it, again, I'm very proud to be a small part of it. I was approached by these staff people who have seen firsthand that as we have students who are facing great challenges, and certainly those who are homeless, who are part of our shelter system, are in very difficult circumstances. As 8th grade graduation comes up, there are a lot of special activities that take place at our schools. And, in a lot of cases, these students just simply aren't able to participate. So, again, Ms. Humphreys, Ms. Boutselis had approached the Greater Lowell Community Foundation with this issue. Not surprisingly, Mr. Jay Linehan, the president of the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, was quick to step up and offer a solution. And I think justifiably was also quick to recommend that the school committee should join in this effort. So again, we'd be looking at a total of $6,000 that would be attributed to the approximately 150 McKinney-Vento 8th graders across our district. It would give them the opportunity to participate in whether it was trips to Canopy Lake, the cookouts, in some cases help them participate in trips to Washington. In the past, certainly the school communities have rallied to help these students, and in a lot of cases that translates to teachers paying out of pocket to support these students. I think this is a small way that the school committee certainly, and then in partnership with the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, can take on some of that burden. I, for one, would be extremely proud to be able to offer these students this opportunity with my very humble thanks both to Ms. Humphreys, Ms. Boutsellis, and Mr. Linehan. Truly an opportunity where we can be part of a coalition of people making a difference for these students who I think deserve to be able to celebrate their 8th grade graduation. So I would put that forth to my fellow members and hope for their support for this motion. Thank you.
If I could just add, Mr. Superintendent, maybe a letter of thanks on behalf of the school committee in your office.
Certainly.
Excellent. This being a money matter, we're going to do a roll call on it. Madam Clerk?
Ms. Delay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
The next 4 motions we'll take as a group, since we have speakers, same speakers on all of them. They are by both Mr. Lay and Mr. Bahu. 7.2, have the proper department look at the menu options in addition to the standard pizza offering. 7.3, have the proper department report on packaging for school lunches. 7.4, ask the superintendent to invite food service director for a discussion on lunch portions for all middle school students. Need for growth mentally and physically are different, since the 8th grade students may be physically bigger than the 5th grade students. And 7.5, ask the superintendent to explore ways and possibility of extending lunchtime period for all middle school students. We'll do a second by Ms. Doherty, since Mr. Bahu who's not here. Mr. Lay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Every year, students are always concerned about either the quality of the food or not enough time to eat. So this year is no different. Students are concerned about what they can do to improve their lunch. So I also understand that there are some speakers here.
Madam Clerk?
Okay, I have 4 speakers to speak on these motions. Karen Miranda, excuse me if I don't say this correctly, Jenna Afuzu, Jasmine Bailey, and Isabella Ong.
Who wants to speak on it, come up with here and they can all join you.
Please state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Karen Miranda, and I'm speaking specifically on motion 7.2 to have proper departments look at the menu options in addition to standard pizza. So my name is Karen Miranda. I'm a teacher here in the city, and I'm here to address the issue of the menu choices, specifically when it comes to the breakfast. My students and I conducted a recent survey that was completed by students representing all 9 of our middle schools. 494 students responded, and on questions such as, do you feel that the foods you eat at school breakfast help, harm, or do not impact your energy levels, only 34% responded that their energy was improving. When asked what food source they typically consumed the most from the breakfast cart, 74% said they were eating carbohydrates. When asked, would you like to have more protein, such as eggs, egg sandwiches, meats, yogurt, offered during breakfast, 62% said yes, and an additional 25% said sometimes, which shows us that 87% of students are expressing a desire for more protein options in the morning. My 8th graders usually return from the breakfast cart, and with them they have cereal, or a muffin, a breakfast bar, pancake, bagel, French toast, juice, and fruit. These are all digested as sugars into their system. Even the yogurt that is being offered has a significantly high number of sugar grams. Once in a while, they are offered the choice to have a breakfast bagel with meat, egg, and cheese, and those are gobbled up so quickly that not everyone has a chance to eat them. My students who are here today emphatically tell me that that is their favorite breakfast meal. And we all know that studies show consuming processed carbohydrates causes a sharp spike and then a quick drop in your blood sugar levels. This is resulting in students feeling lethargic about 1 or 2 hours after breakfast and hungry well before they have to move on to lunch. And just personally, like, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and if I needed to have that school breakfast, I would be in trouble. It is almost nothing but carbohydrates all morning long. If you put my insulin pump on me, it could try to keep up, it wouldn't. Cereal is nothing but carbs. Milk is carbs. The fruit is healthy, but it's carbs. Juice, carbs. Pastry, carbs. It's carbs upon carbs upon carbs. Our students' physical health necessitates that they need more protein to start their day, and they should be eating less of the processed sugars. Their mental health will benefit because they will focus more sharply on their academic tasks. They will feel fuller longer. They will avoid the blood sugar crashes that are making them lose their energy. They will stay awake in my classroom and be more on task. They are telling us that they want more protein in the morning, and I strongly urge Lowell Public Schools to listen to them by looking into offering some more protein-focused breakfast options on the menu. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Mr. Skinner, and the rest of the Lowell School Committee. My name is Ejena E. Fezwe, and I'm going to speak on menu choices and how it connects to mental health. I don't have much time, but I would like to briefly bring the issue of misrepresentation and lack of food choices on our monthly lunch menu to your attention and explain how it connects to mental health. For some background information, I am African, specifically Nigerian, specifically from the tribe of Igbo. I was born there and came here when I was really young, but that did not stop my family from continuing to embrace our culture. If you were to ask me or any other African student if we have ever seen food that we eat at home on the school lunch/breakfast menu, there would only be one answer: no. This is one of the many examples of how our school lunch/breakfast menu is not inclusive enough. This lack of representation in our food is not only about our menus, it is about the feeling of inclusivity and belonging in our schools. My class interviewed a community expert named Triana Wilson. She works for History Unerased, and it told us how important it is for people to not feel like they are other or that their food is culturally sensitive. She told us we should all feel seen and should not have our culture and food erased. Based on a survey of 494 students in Lowell's middle and high schools, only 121 students said that there was often food that they ate at home offered at school. That is roughly only 24% of students. The remaining 76% answered almost never or not often. Students like me do not see themselves represented in the food choices that we are offered. This leads to feelings of isolation and can affect our mental well-being. What I am rooting for today is a diverse menu that includes all types of cultures. Yeah, it's nice to have Pizza Friday, but what about all the other types of food that we can be offered? What if our menu ranges from Asian food to actual authentic European food, or African food to Hispanic food? I'll tell you what. It will allow students to become more comfortable in our community. It will allow students to share more ideas from their culture. It will allow students to see themselves in the food that they eat, and it will allow students to have a sense of belonging. Please consider diversifying the menu choices. Thank you.
Hello, Mayor Rourke, Mr. Skinner, and school committee members. My name is Jasmine, and I am concerned about how much wasteful plastic our school system is using each day at lunch. My classmate, Jose, interviewed Mr. Skinner a few weeks ago, and Mr. Skinner told us that he is concerned about how much plastic is being used each day. Many of our foods are served in plastic containers or cups. Hundreds of students each day eat lunch at my school, and all kinds of dirty plastic ends up going into the trash. Today, we collected all the plastic clamshells, forks, and cups from our 8th grade lunch and from the 7th grade lunch. We brought the bags of plastic here today to show how much plastic is being used and then thrown out. We have 3 bags full. This represents less than 1/2 of all the plastic waste from just one day of lunch today at my school. It's a lot, and I don't think it needs to be this way. Plastic lunch containers are bad for the environment due to their non-biodegradable nature, and this contributes to pollution. Also, the production of plastic relies on using fossil fuels, which are a finite resource. The plastic manufacturing process is energy intensive and contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. These environmental issues are hurting our health and our planet. I think we can eliminate a lot of this plastic. Instead of serving fruits and vegetables in plastic cups, we can have a cafeteria worker scoop the food into our cardboard trays with a serving spoon. Our trays have dents so the food will not fall off. We don't need a plastic cup. We also do not need plastic clamshells to serve things like hamburgers. We can wrap them in a foil to pick them up with our hands and reduce plastic. If we have longer lunch breaks, the cafeteria workers have more time to serve food by hand distribution instead of pack and go plastic. We know we can't get rid of all trash, but paper boats are higher recycling rate, 68%, compared to plastic, 9%. Plastic can take anywhere from 20 to 500 years to decompose. Plastic is one of the biggest source of ocean pollution. Please consider reducing the plastic packaging of lunch foods in Lowell public schools. It doesn't have to be this way. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Rourke, Mr. Skinner, and members of the school committee. My name is Izzy, and I'm here tonight to talk about my concerns with the plastic packaging used for our school lunches. Here are some facts I have learned about plastic. When plastic is heated, chemicals in the plastic can migrate into food that's placed in that plastic container. This can especially happen if the plastic is not designed for microwaving or for high temperature use. Some plastics also contain chemicals like BPA and phthalates, which are also considered endocrine disruptors and have been linked to various health problems, including cancers. Other health risks caused by exposure to these plastic chemicals include disrupting brain development, interfering with hormonal signals, and causing the body to build up microplastics. Many of our hot meals come in plastic clamshell containers. Our vegetables and fruits are served in plastic cups. Today, our head cafeteria employee told us that she heard that soon she will need to serve all the hamburgers and cheeseburgers in plastic containers, and she doesn't think this is healthy. Would you want to eat out of something that is not good for your health? I'm guessing the answer is no. So then why are we still eating out of this plastic packaging so often? To avoid these risks, I respectfully ask that Lowell Public Schools research other types of packaging that are safer for our bodies. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Tekla, and I want to share my thoughts about the portion sizes of school lunches in our middle school. All the students in grades 5 through 8 receive the same portion size of food items, despite the fact that the sizes of these students can vary widely. Age, gender, and body size are not taken into account, and the portions are one size fits all. Just in my grade alone, we have some students who are less than 4 feet 8 inches tall, and we have other students who are 6 feet and 4 inches tall. We have students who weigh 70 pounds and other students who are built like professional football players and weigh 180 pounds or more. People of such different sizes have very different calorie needs, but they all get the same amount of food. For example, my classmate, who is 6'4" and considered big and tall, is still feeling hungry after almost every meal. Someone his age and build needs about 2,500 calories a day, which means about 700 to 800 calories per meal. Many days in lunch consists of a small piece of fruit, which is 50 calories, a milk, which is 110 calories, and a small entry that is usually 250 to 300 calories. We use the food scale to measure portion sizes for the fruit in the main meals. 450 to 500 calories is not filling enough for a growing teenager of that size. He is allowed 1 meal per lunch because we're not allowed to get a second meal. We interviewed the director of food services, and she said Lowell aims to provide 600 to 800 calories per lunch, but our food scale often showed we come up short of that number. She also told us that she is limited to offering 10 ounces of protein per week for the main meal. That means only 2 ounces of protein per day. This is not enough to fill and nourish teens who are over 6 feet tall and over 180 pounds. I respectfully ask that the school committee investigate options for providing different serving and portion sizes for different body sizes so that people who are big and tall can meet their calorie needs and not still feel hungry after eating lunch. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brooke, and thank you for letting me speak tonight about lunch portion sizes in the Lowell Middle Schools like mine. I don't think it's fair that the same portion of food is offered for smaller 5th grade size students as it is for big and tall 8th graders. Not everyone is the same size. We use food scales to measure portions at lunch for 5 days. Some days, the meals kids ate contained only about 400 calories. For a big, tall football player-sized student, this meal is more like a snack than a filling lunch. Students are growing and need energy and fuel to stay alert and active during the school day. Middle school is an important stage of development, and kids who aren't getting enough to eat will feel tired, distracted, or irritable during school hours. This will affect their learning, concentration, and mood. My class surveyed almost 500 students from Lowell Middle Schools. We had people from all 9 middle schools respond. When asked, how often do you feel comfortably full after eating our school lunch? 13% said never, 26% said not often, 37% said sometimes. Only 9% answered that they always feel full. That's a small number. We also asked how often do you still feel hungry after eating your school lunch? 17% said I always still feel hungry, 28% said I often feel hungry, and 33% said I sometimes feel hungry. Only 8% reported never feeling hungry. That's 45 of students who always or often feel hungry. That is almost half of the students, and that is concerning. To conclude, a 5th grader and an 8th grader are at different levels of development, and their nutritional needs are different. As a result, I believe that offering portion sizes that are better match body size and development would improve our focus, energy levels, and overall satisfaction with school lunch. This isn't just about getting more food. This is about making sure that everyone has what they individually need to success in school, both physically and mentally. For these reasons, I request that our school district look into offering different portion sizes.
Good morning, Mayor, Mr. Skinner, and the school committee members. My name is Jose Barrio, and I am a student of the Daley Middle School. I'm here to ask that the school department registrations the number of minutes being used for school lunches. At my school, we have 15 minutes for lunch and 15 minutes for recess. The 15 minutes for lunch, including walking to the cafeteria, waiting in line, and the food eating, throwing away, and trash, and lining up for recess. Today, my teachers timed and how long it took for the first step in line start from walking to the caf until the last person in line there got their food, sat down to lunch. It took 7 minutes for the last person to finally sit down with her lunch. This leaves only 9 minutes for some people to eat and throw trash and line up for recess. This is not enough time. We interviewed Rachel Tedford, who is in charge of the food services in Lowell School, and she started thinking she thinks the students should have 20 or 30 minutes to eat. And she's an expert on her opinion that should count. We also surveyed 494 Lowell students, and 82 said that they have 20 minutes less each day for lunch, including their walking times. Of these 500 students, 31% said that they feel rushed, and another 40 said that sometimes they feel rushed. That 71 feeling that somewhat is or very rushed. Also, 61 of students said that do not feel that they don't have enough minutes during lunch to talk to our friends and enjoy from break from school work. And only 18% said that they have enough time to socialize. Kids need a break. Do not have a break, a good break. they will not behave and focus in class after lunch. My teacher also told me that a lot of them feel rushed at lunch. They waited for the bathrooms and needed to heat their food. Many of them work during lunch because they are too busy to check their emails during class. They need more time to take a break. Also, please think about adding at least 5 more minutes to our lunchtime for school so everyone can have a healthy break. Thank you.
Any others? Mr. Lay, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I want to thank all the students for taking your opportunity and your concern to the school committee. Mr. Bahu, though is the co-sponsor of the motions, though he's not here. However, we've been communicating frequently before this meeting. He would be very happy if he were here to see that you have come up here and spoke. Him and I, we did spend a little bit of time exploring what you say. I think what you say is correct, is true. We have been at the schools for a long time, but to see what you have gone through right now and struggle with the time, how stressful it is just to go to the cafeteria, just shovel everything into your mouth, swallow it and leave, line up and leave to the class, back to the classroom. It is stress. It is stressful. I feel your pain. So I think you brought a very real issues in our school. So thank you for doing that.
Ms. Doherty?
And thank you, Ms. Miranda.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I was at a school event recently. It was a book reading week or something, and I saw the cereal bars that they were handing out. I think one of them was called Lucky Charms or something. Incredible in terms of the amount of sugar and just empty calories in these bars. I actually have them in the glove box in my car because I kept meaning to have a motion and bring it forward. I just want to clarify, we have been about providing better food, this committee, and I know we've got some newer members, but I know for people that have been around for a few years, we follow the federal guidelines, correct? But we can do better than the federal guidelines, can't we? Do you know that? I don't know if Dr. Pinto, has that come under you? Can we do, like if the guidelines say you can have up to 20% sugar, and we say, no, we don't want to have something that's 20, can we do better than what the guidelines say?
I believe that's for Dr. Hall.
Yes, you could exceed the guidelines.
You could. So, I mean, I'm completely supportive of all these motions that are here tonight, but I would specifically say, let's look at those cereal bars in particular. I know you can buy healthier protein bars that are not all this sugar, that are going to give students more nutrition. And I'm not sure about the portion side, what our restrictions are with that, but I think that would also make sense. You have lunches, I'm assuming you have 5th graders and 6th graders together, or you have the 5th grade lunch, then you have the 8th grade lunch, and that the portions could be appropriate for the developmental age. We always have funding left over from our food program that we're able to put back into the system, and we've done nutritional training with it, we've done different things. But to start with using that money better to provide better food, and I think the breakfast bars absolutely have to go. We've got to do a better job with that. So I'm very much in favor of all these motions, and I appreciate my colleagues for putting them forward. It's been on my to-do list, so I would look forward to getting some suggestions from the administration on those matters. Thank you.
Mr. Hutton?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'll add my thanks to our speakers this evening. Thank you very much for coming down tonight and sharing your insights. I think it's really valuable for us to hear firsthand, so thank you for that. As Ms. Doherty has kind of mentioned, this is a topic we have discussed many, many times. What I'm struck by is the fact that we have taken moves to increase the amount that we are spending on our food services. I mean, this committee, not this specific committee, but the school committee had voted to, increase the amount that we're spending. specifically because we wanted to address these quality issues. So it's disheartening to kind of be back in this place again. So I would only say that as we move forward, if we could be able to connect with with Aramark, see what it is we need to do differently to make these kind of improvements. I think we all recognize that for many of our students, the breakfast and lunch that they're getting at school is of critical importance to their overall health and well-being. To be spending the kind of money that we're spending and not have a high-quality product that our students are able to enjoy and take advantage of is just, very disheartening. So, again, I think this brings up an important issue. I thank everyone for taking the time to do that, and I would impress upon the administration that we are looking to kind of see what the next steps could be to see some real improvement in this area as we go forward. Thank you.
Mr. Conway?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to thank all the speakers for coming up and bringing this to our attention once again. I think it's extremely important. Just a couple quick questions. Is the menu reviewed through you, Mr. Mayor, to perhaps the superintendent? Is the menu reviewed each year before the next school year starts? In other words, somewhere in the summertime, do they sit down and review everything?
So menus are made up much more frequently than that. I believe menus are made up maybe monthly and posted monthly.
Obviously, other school systems have the same have lunches. They have an Aeromac coming in, right?
Yes.
Do other school systems have the exact same food that we have?
I don't know, Mr. Conway. We'll be happy to report it back, but offhand,
I think that would be. I think that would be interesting. In other words, is it a problem? It seems as though certainly the quality of food, and you'll take a look at the sugar content and so forth. And I'm saying to myself, well, is that the same? Are we getting the same food that surrounding towns and cities are getting? I think that would be good information. And if we're not, why not?
Agreed. We'll report back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Moving on to Section A, Subcommittees, 8.1, approval of the minutes of the Joint School and City Facilities Subcommittee meeting, April 1st, 2025. Chairwoman, Ms. Doherty.
Thank you. Just quickly, we did meet with the City Council Facilities Subcommittee. Present from the school committee were myself, Mr. Bahu, Ms. Del Rossi, and Mr. Lay. Present from the City Council is Chairperson Belanger, Councilors Dakota, Scott, Councilors Gitchia, Mercier, and Noon were also there, although they're not on the Facilities Subcommittee. Representing the administration was Superintendent Skinner, Dr. Hall, Mr. Underwood, Facilities Director, and Mr. Leahy, Deputy Facilities Director from the city. It was Mr. St. Cyr, the DPW Director, as well as Ms. Moses, the Sustainability Director. So we had a couple of quick things we were looking at, specifically an update on the New American, what do they call it? The New American Schools grant that we got from the federal government. It's a $15 million grant, spans 3 years. So our update was we've got $300,000 in our pocket, and we're going to start with these energy audits, which they hope to have finished by the fall. And that will give us a great sense of where we stand in terms of our energy needs in the buildings. Ms. Moses, who is the Sustainability Director, she pointed out to us that the city hopes to, the city has already completed 29 million in school facility projects, and that the plan is once Lowell High is fully operational, almost half of our facilities will have some cooling systems, which we know is so important as we're doing more with summer school, and we're getting hotter summers coming sooner. So this is a good goal that we're all on track to see happen, assuming we do get that 15 million, because as we know, there have been some cuts at the federal level that could be impacting these committed funds. But we won't know, we don't know that yet. All we know is the 300,000 and what we're going to do with that. The second item on the agenda was to look at the plan for the renovations of the new school that we purchased, which is the future Sapasara School. And we talked about we need an elevator for that building as well as some other handicap accessibility. We have strong structural integrity with that building, although there's a lot that needs to be done, and we still don't have a clear timeline, which part of the reason we met as the Joint Facilities Subcommittee was because we need that space. We have program needs that we've got to be, have a target date that we can really hold to. So we're looking at having another meeting, and I believe we scheduled it for June 17th, so that we could get updates from the city. That at that time, we're hoping they'll be able to commit to what the timeline is for getting the renovations ready for the new Sapasara School so that we can make appropriate plans. And I would submit that. I would just want to thank my colleagues on this side as well as on the City Council for coming out that night. I think it's important that we do have these communications and move forward on these projects that are so important to the city and its schools. And I would present that as a report of progress.
By Ms. Martin, seconded by Ms. Doherty. All in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. Section 9, reports to the superintendent. 9.1, state response to federal request for certification. Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the school committee. You may realize that recently the Trump administration had advised school departments across the country that they sent out a request for certification, wanting school departments and individual school superintendents to sign a certification regarding Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Massachusetts responded on behalf of the state and school districts. You have the response in your packet tonight. Essentially, the response on behalf of Massachusetts and local communities, local school districts, is that we have already certified compliance and do so annually, and that school superintendents have done so as well. The letter from Secretary of Education Tutwiler also includes an assertion about our belief in diverse perspectives and backgrounds among our educators and administrators and leaders, that is a strength and not a flaw. And you have that packet. I wanted to provide it to the committee and take any questions you may have.
Great. 9.2, strategic goal update, student support services. Mr. Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's unfortunate that Ms. Brown-Legrand, who has produced this and was here to give you a report tonight, it was unable to make it due to a last-minute family emergency. I'm happy, however, to present this report and to take any questions you have. Just for context, I know that this school committee and several members on it championed the idea of restoring the Office of Student Support Services as central office. We have done so, and I am grateful that we're able to find really strong leadership for that department. We are reporting out to you on all of our strategic goals as we go through the spring. This one is of particular interest, I would imagine, to the committee. I think that significant progress has been made in the Student Support Services Office, and I'll take any questions you have on the report in your packet.
Just a quick comment. It's great work with the superintendent, and made a lot of people happy with this, so thank you. 9.3, response to motion by Ms. Doherty on March 5th, 2025, regarding teachers' licensure. Ms. Doherty.
Thank you for this report. I just had a couple of follow-up questions. Maybe I could get a little bit more information. So we've got the number down to, and I'm not looking at the report right in front of me, sorry, but I do remember, I think it was 43 teachers who do not have their certification yet. And correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education no longer offers this waiver for emergency certification. Is that correct? That ended last November, maybe?
So as I understand it, we have teachers who are, the teachers referring to are working on emergency licenses, which are considered valid licenses. To work into next school year, they would need to achieve
Right.
at least a
But
preliminary license.
My point is, how long have they been working under the emergency licensures? Because I was under the understanding this was something the state offered during COVID and the time after that, because we had such a shortage of teachers.
Understood.
But do you recall when they stopped that?
Dr. Hall?
They're still offering one-year extensions, Ms. Doherty, in some circumstances, but last year they were supposed to end it, but some educators, upon showing progress, have been able to get an extension.
Okay, so would that be the case then? These 43 are originally from the back in when they first started offering those emergency waivers?
And not necessarily. So there could have been some people on emergency licenses last year, for example, that weren't renewed, and then the principals might have hired a new teacher who had an emergency license, so the year groups don't necessarily completely overlap.
Okay. I mean, because at one point we were at, I think it was 103 or 104. I mean, I understand that it's okay to have but it is different. You know, the waiver is not the same as having the full certification. So if we've got people who are staying year after year teaching but haven't met those requirements, we can't really say we've got the highest quality caliber teaching that we have always prided ourselves on, right? So I would like, if we could just get follow-up information, you know, how many people are, how long have they been under this waiver, and what are the classes that they're teaching? Is it, we can't find middle school algebra teachers? I know math has been a difficult area to find, and I remember at one time we couldn't find Latin teachers at the, you know, so I'm just trying to get a sense of where are those, what are the subject areas? And I know it was broken down by school, and we still see the high school has quite a few, I think 10. Again, I'm going off the top of my head because I don't have the, it's missed up.
Sorry, if I can give you a little bit more information. One detail, I welcome this this examination of our practices. I think it's worthy that we have really highly qualified teachers in our schools. I want to caution a couple of things, if I may, and also recognize that in this report you're seeing significant progress. Of these teachers, it's estimated that only 4 are not on track to receive a certification. So, and the report outlines, if you notice, numerous supports that have been given to these people to get us there.
Yes.
Right. So lots of progress in that department. The caution is that the state of Massachusetts didn't introduce emergency licenses for the fun of it. In this country, in the United States of America, there's a great shortage of teachers, and it's not predicted to end anytime soon. And so that's why emergency licenses were introduced. The state explicitly says that they are valid licenses. In other words, we really couldn't or shouldn't be talking about the teachers who have them as being somehow lesser. They're valid teaching licenses. They won't last forever, and so you are correct and right to push for these teachers to become highly qualified with a regular license. And as you can see, we're getting there. The last thing I want to say is that we want to give you all the information you're asking for, but at the same time protect the school district by not giving you information on any one employee, or not giving you information on, for instance, individual schools where you might be able to identify an employee. We can't do that, and so I think that the grain size of the details you're being given tonight is as far as we should go.
Well, I think I appreciate your comments, and I think on this issue of, I'm not saying they're not good teachers, but there is a difference. The process of going through certification, for every teacher out there who's done it, they know how much work it is. My point, I'm not looking to reveal individual people. Perhaps a list not affiliated with specific schools, but just says, these are the subjects, these are the areas that we have had to go, that we've hired people at emergency
I see.
stature, would be helpful for me.
Sure.
Because I do want us to put in that due diligence.
Certainly.
And you know, I've had concerns about, you know, the HR process, the posting, the interviewing, that, you know, the screening committees, it's all under that same umbrella that we, you know.
Can I get?
And so that follow-up information does not have to be specific to schools, and I do recognize you've made progress. 43 from 104 is very good. We're also going back several years, right? So.
Right. Can I give you some more information now, Ms. Dorn? You can tell me if this is sufficient, but based on what you're asking, we do know that information, and I can tell you, right? So it's predominantly or mostly special education. That's the biggest category. Next would be math and science. And so those are the categories. There may be individual ELA or social studies teachers and so on, not likely, mostly special education, and secondarily math and then science.
So I just would say, you don't have to give me a follow-up report on that, you've just told me, but I don't want to have to ask again in a couple of years what the number is, so I'm going to put it back on you to give us an update at a time that makes sense. We're in what, April? You know, whenever you, but I mean, I think that when I made the original motion, I said I wanted, and then I have to keep pushing for it, so I think it should be as we're moving down that number to keep us in the loop with updates.
Understood. Thank you.
9.4, motion response, Mr. Rossi, April 2nd, 2025, regarding STEM Academy parking. I think the report we got is pretty straightforward. We add 20 more spots. And then the city is also in negotiations with some extra spots along Highland Street. So 9.5, response to motion by Mr. Conway, April 2nd, 2025, regarding Lowell High School and the Lowell Sun Partnership. Mr. Conway.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank Ms. Robichaud on the report. I appreciate this. After taking a look at it, it's a bit, I'd say it's a bit disappointing because, you know, the Lowell Sun has been a partner with the city of Lowell and the school department for generations. And I think that we've always cherished our partnerships. And I understand that times have changed and there are different avenues that we can explore. However, I think it's also very important that we do have a good working relationship with the newspaper. I think it's important. And when I look at this, it's a little disheartening. I talked to someone from the newspaper, and I asked how the partnership was going, and they said, "What partnership?" I'd like to know myself. And I thought they might have been kidding a bit on it, and I said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a motion on to get an update on what's going on. And again, I know that there are certainly roadblocks that prevent the same type of partnership that we might have had 20 years ago. However, I think it's important that we do sit at the table with them because, again, this is a win-win. As I said a few weeks ago, it's a win-win for our students, it's a win-win for the school department, and I think it's important that we foster this. And I'd like to keep this this particular motion, keep it active at this point. And maybe in a few weeks we can have another update and see if there's some type of changes that might have taken place. You know, I think that we've all seen that there's changes that happen. However, there are some basics that we need to also revisit. You know, it kind of brings me back to the motion when we had the mock election. You know, that's something that we'd spend literally weeks putting that together. It was so very important for the kids. I know this one, it was only like 2 days. So again, I would appreciate if you sit down with, you know, a representative from the school department, sit down with the newspaper, and let's see how we can how we can work together and come up with a plan that's going to help our kids. And again, we talked about it before. Maybe start at the high school and then eventually get down to the middle school too.
Mr. Conway, I believe Ms. Crocker may have some additional information that we've learned since this report. Do you mind if I refer to Ms. Crocker? Do you have additional information?
Thank you, Superintendent. So I just want to try and clarify what the paper has been willing and is willing to continue to do with us. They will publish what we are sending them in the education report on Sundays. What we haven't been successful getting them to commit to is running feature stories that are written by our students. So when we send them a picture with a caption or a paragraph about an event and activity, they will run those. There are several already teed up to go out in the issues coming. And those will come exclusively on the Sunday education block. But beyond that, they have not been willing to commit to giving us, more space for featured articles. And I think from the spirit of your motion, you'd like to see more of that. And their bandwidth, they've been clear with us that they just aren't yet at that position where that's going to be possible. They will publish whatever we provide them in the education section on Sundays. They're very, committed to being able to do that for us.
Right.
Mr. Conway, if I may, the gist of what Ms. Crocker is saying is that we produce far more student writing to be featured in the paper than they are able to process.
I understand.
For the students who work on those pieces, they can have them published, within the next few minutes online and in various other social media, right? But the students are submitting them for the Lowell Sun and not having them published. So that's a difficulty. It isn't.
Well, if they're going to be putting them online anyways, I don't see the problem with sending them to the newspaper anyways. And
we
see
do
what,
so.
Because a lot of times what will happen, it might not fit in this day or a week from now, whatever it is. And by the way, again, Lowell Sun has been, as I said, a partner. I certainly haven't, and I'm sure that everyone here have always agreed with the articles that they might have written over the years. But I think it's important that we still stay strong with that partner.
We do have a great rapport with the Lowell Sun. I could name individuals who we contact and at least weekly interactions with. The difficulty has been their ability, I think, to process what we send them. We'll certainly work with it, Mr. Conway, and we'll keep your motion and give you an update in a few weeks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think the main issue with the Lowell Sun, Mr. Conway, is that they have two people covering the entire city of Lowell, one crime reporter and then one person doing everything else. So, we've all sent them stuff to put it in and,
Oh, I'm
very lucky
well aware of that.
at the time, right? Yeah.
I'm well aware of it.
Yeah. 9.6, motion by Mr. Rossi, from March 5th, 2025, regarding Lowell High School classroom and program planning. We'll take this in accordance with 9.8, the status of our Lowell High School construction updates, since they do coincide. Mr. Superintendent?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, you're referring to 9.6, I believe.
Yeah,
and
that was when Mr. Rossi filed a motion concerning the delays and what we're going to do for classrooms and stuff like that. And I figured that would be good to go with the status of Lowell High School construction.
What about 9.7?
Yeah, we'll get to it. We're doing 9.6 right now.
Oh.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not sure what you're asking for,
So,
Mr. Mayor.
do you want to give a construction update, and then we can go back to the classroom and
I see.
because of the delays?
I see. Understood. On the construction updates, you have in your packet, school committee members, the latest packet from SBC meeting that was held last week on Thursday. Some details include details of the latest progress, but also the latest delays. So there's an estimate. You see slab work. There's a picture. Looks like this one, building A. There's some work been done to try to adjust the schedule for the construction and estimate what that will cause this high school to have to do in terms of moving classrooms or delaying moving classrooms and so on. That's been ongoing and that can be worked out, but it looks as though the full high school project will be a year delayed. Looks as though it will not be ready at the summer of 2026, rather the summer of 2027. There's also going to be a considerable additional cost associated. At this meeting, that cost was not available, but it's being produced, I believe, for a subsequent meeting early in June.
They hope to get the cost update by the end of June. They came to the council meeting last Tuesday, took a bunch of questions and comments, but they did say extra year, and then the cost they're not sure of yet. Hopefully by June they'll have that number. Mr. Hardy?
I'm just wondering what changed, because the last I heard, we were looking at more like a 3-month or 4-month delay.
The problem is the testing that they conducted, I guess would say was minimal at best. They haven't even started doing testing at the Coburn building, which they're hoping to do during April vacation. So we don't know where we're going with that, but I think they only tested a boring or two in the 1922 building. And then when they went in to actually do the renovations, they found all the extra stuff. The square footage of the flooring is, I think, bigger than what they thought it was originally as well. So that's kind of where we're at.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, the additional complication is that if the high school were completely by early summer of 2026, you have that summer to make the transition, the classroom supplies, moving literally classrooms for one teacher into this space, another teacher into that space, and so on. If the project were to be finished midway through the school year, it would be really, really difficult to make the transition. We considered how it would happen, for instance, on February vacation of 2027, and it seemed as though there wouldn't really be time in that week to make the full transition.
So it almost doesn't matter. If you can't have it ready for the beginning of the summer, you've got to go till the next summer.
And the only good news they gave us last week, if there was any at all, was that Phase 3 should be completed by August of this year. And then, but obviously that would necessitate using different spaces for different objectives because of the delay.
Right.
Mr. Lay?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, 1 year delay seems like a long time, just because somehow I'm wondering if they are on time now and they use this new discovery as a reason for a whole 1 year delay. It's just I have not been following this strictly on their schedule, so I don't know if they are on time at this moment. But a 1 year delay is a long time. And the cost gonna be
So just to answer your question a little bit,
different.
The entire flooring of the 22 building is right now is the major delay, Mr. Superintendent. Would you go with that as well? So
that's correct.
Right, and and by and large, I mean, if you're going to do it once, do it right. And if we have to take a little time, just get it done. So, unfortunately, we're here where we are, but we can't. You want to push them or so that because we have to get it done the right way.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Back to 9-7 by Mr. Conway. Response to a motion regarding FTE positions that are funded with federal monies. Mr. Conway.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to the superintendent. I thank you for the report, and also Dr. Pinto. I appreciate it. It's when you look at it in black and white, it's a little nerve-wracking, shall we say, because we have obviously a lot. We're talking about $10.125 million. I actually, to be honest with you, I thought it was even going to be a little bit more. I thought it was going to be up to 13 or 14 million. But it's because we don't know exactly what's going to take place on the federal level and the federal funding. When somebody is hired here, let's say through Title I, is there like a hiring contingency plan that is subject to funding? Is that?
No, not really, Mr. Conway. When people are hired in a position that's funded by Title I funds, it's when we have the Title I funds to make that hire, or special education funds, for example.
But if all of a sudden the funds stop,
we would have to reduce positions.
I'm sorry?
We would have to reduce positions. You mentioned the $10 million.
Okay.
That also accounts for 188 positions. Right?
Yeah, and what's really a bit of upsetting here is the fact that, you know, if we do have to cut, you know that, you know, it's our most at-risk students that are going to be put in harm's way with this. And I'm wondering what type of plan that, when are we going to know this, by the way? When are we going to know whether we're getting the money and whether it's at its fullest capacity or not? Do we have any idea on that at all?
We had a similar motion, Mr. Conway, at a council meeting, and the answer was, I guess the superintendent will give us the same one, is it could be tomorrow, could be a year from now, we just have no idea. I mean, there are organizations throughout the city that have applied for grants, have been awarded grants, that's been pulled. I'm sure Ms. Mark could talk about that as well. It's just, it's just up in the air at all points in time, so it's just one of those things. Mr. Doherty, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, just to the facilities subcommittee meeting, we had a $15 million grant we were awarded over 3 years to do facilities work, and now we don't know if we're going to get that money. But in terms of our staffing, aren't we required by law for the special education staffing? We have to have those teachers. Some of it, like the Title I funding, is based on the percentage of poverty in you know, the students who come from economically disadvantaged homes. But I thought McKinney-Vento, that's a law that was supposed to support homeless students. So how do we manage cutting $10 million from the budget and stay in compliance with these education laws?
The same.
You have that answer.
Yeah, so I think.
Hopefully you don't have to answer it. But.
Right. In a short period of time, we'll be working with the committee on the budget for next school year. And it seems as though that budget process, according to sort of school processes at this point each spring, that this year would be a relatively smooth process because the funding is sufficient roughly to do what we call level service budgeting. But we're talking about speculation that beyond that level service budget, at some point soon after that you might face a cut. You know, there's in one sense everyone is worried, but on the other hand, there's no information that suggests we won't get our special education funding. There's no information that says we won't get our Title I funding, right? Or any of these. There's, you know, anything that suggests we won't get the funding is speculation, based on, you know, experience, but nonetheless we don't have information.
I just want to add one thing, and then we do know, I mean, at least we've been told the Department of Education has been, half the staff has been fired, right? And so you've got half the Department of Education who are doing the job.
Federally, it's been eliminated.
Right, and some of the functions, like special ed, for example, have been moved to other departments. So they're not, those functions are not necessarily eliminated so much as moved to other departments.
Well, actually, Mr. Conway, it's a great motion and response. I thought it was very informative. So
well, let me just say one last thing here through you to the superintendent. You know, we've gone through major cuts throughout, you know, the decades. And one thing that, from what I understood, is that there was always some type of a plan, hoping that they never had to go to the plan.
That's right.
And on a couple occasions, they did. I mean, there was a plan where they ended up getting rid of all the citywide coordinators, directors. They made cluster department heads. I mean, it was, you know, right in this chamber, it was devastating. You know, and I certainly hope it doesn't get to something like that. But I'm just wondering, is there a plan? Do you have?
We've begun working. We've begun working on some contingency plans.
All right. Because I think when the time comes, if it does, you know, we want to be able to say, okay, let's go to Plan A and let's investigate Plan A or Plan B or whatever it may be. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
9.9 key performance indicators Q3 report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. School committee members, this is a quarterly report on key performance indicators. It is in your packet, and we're happy to take questions if you have them.
That being said, motion to accept reports of the superintendent 9.1 to 9.9 as reports of progress by Ms. Doherty, seconded by Ms. Martin. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion passes. 9.10, home education. Need a motion to approve home ed by Mr. Lay, seconded by Mr. Conway. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin? Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
Section 10, new business. 10.1, approval to accept and expend allocated FY25 awards. Motion to approve by Ms. Doherty, seconded by Mr. Lay. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
10.2, budget modification request. Motion to approve by Ms. Doherty, seconded by Ms. Martin. Roll call.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
10.3, to Mind Research Institute research proposal. Motion to approve by Mr. Conway, seconded by Mr. Lay. Roll call.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
11, convention conference requests, and 11.1, in-state travel. Massachusetts Association of School Business. And motion to approve by Ms. Doherty, seconded by Ms. Martin. Roll call.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
Section 12, professional personnel, 12.1. Members of the United Teachers of Lowell hereby donate 1 sick leave day to Tina Lawrence, Butler Community Partnership Professional, and 10 sick leave days to Reagan O'Donoghue, Sullivan Middle School teacher. Motion to approve by Mr. Conway, seconded by Mr. Lay. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Lay?
Yes.
Ms. Martin? Mayor Rourke?
Yes.
Mr. Bahu? Mr. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Rossi? Ms. Doherty?
Yes.
5 yeas, 2 absent.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Conway, seconded by Ms. Doherty. Good evening.